Mom! We won today's game too! Congratulations, darling. Your father and I are so proud of you. I'm absolutely certain you're going to go places, May. You certainly have the skills to become a pro. You really think so? Of course I do. I wish I could become a member of the Japanese national team. That would be amazing. I'm positive that teams will be begging for you to join them in a few years. I'm so happy you think I can do this, Mom. Just like you said, I'm gonna believe that I can do this too. I guess your expertise in sports is something you inherited from your father. Dad used to be a track and field, right? Yeah, he was, and his accomplishments earned him quite a bit of fame in the whole country when he was in university. In order to support this dream of becoming a world-class wheelchair basketball player, I'm going to do whatever I possibly can to help. I'm going to work my ass off, and I'm going to encourage you every day to do your best. Thanks so much, Mom. Don't you worry about me, darling. Remember that even though I may not look it, I was a member of the lacrosse team in high school. My name is Kyokyo Miyanohara. I'm a part-time housewife working 2 jobs in one of the business management and marketing departments of a large conglomerate. I'm 38 years old, if you must know. I've been told by many people that I look much younger than I really am. I've surprised countless souls by telling them I have a 15-year-old daughter, May. My husband, Kai, is a born athlete, hardcore into sports and fitness, and a personal trainer history of more than 10 years. When we met in university, it didn't take too long before we started going out, and I got pregnant when I was 22 years old. My family was against the idea, but right as we graduated, we got married, and I bore our child a few months later. We've been pretty young to become parents.
My dear!
Dad, you're here!
I had a meeting in the upcoming World Championships. I hopped onto a train, pretty sure I was gonna make the game, but then some trouble happened with the train and I got so late.
Kai, honey, the game just finished, actually.
Oh, come on!
It's okay, Dad. We won the game.
Oh, really? Well, that's music to my ears, dear.
But aside from that, look at how much you're sweating, Dad.
You won't believe how much I ran to make it. Too bad I missed it.
Here's a towel.
Ah, thanks a lot.
I recorded the whole thing with this new video camera I bought the other day.
Nice, Kyoko. That's my can-do girl right there.
The next game is this Saturday around lunchtime. Think you can make it then?
Definitely. I have it memorized. That day is a complete day off.
I'm gonna try harder for the team from now on, Dad.
Always remember that keeping your cool is the first and most important step to having a good training routine.
I know that. I think it's about time we head home, guys. How about we go out to some barbecues as a celebration of May's victory?
Oh, hell yeah!
In Jirov Elementary School, she was involved in a traffic accident. The result was absolutely crushing. She sustained irreparable damage to her legs, and they had to be amputated. First, May had to live the rest of her life with artificial legs, but other than that, she's a very sprightly, intelligent, positive daughter who loves to take up a challenge. Like her father, she grew up to be a hardcore sports enthusiast, and she eventually began to show interest in wheelchair basketball. She improved so quickly, and her relationships with her teammates are all very healthy. She improved so much that she'd become equivalent of an MVP in middle school students for the game she plays in, and her teams have been climbing the ranks for the past few months. Such as May, who turned 15 this year. She has basketball to pursue, as well as high school entrance exams in January. It's going to be a busy year for her, but considering how well she's been doing, I have no doubt she'll succeed in everything that comes her way. With that belief in mind, I want to support her as much as I can, and help her improve these skills even more. Hey Mom, do you have a minute? I do, honey. What's the matter? Sorry to bother you when you're working, but there's something I want to tell you, and it'll take some time. Don't worry about that, darling. It's actually perfect timing. Are you home right now? I just came home from school. There's some strawberry pound cake from Pastia Moni in the fridge. Help yourself, okay? Got it. Thanks, Mom. Can I start with what I want to tell you? Sorry, go ahead. It's about the student who transferred to my school maybe 2 weeks ago. You said something about her parents having been transferred to work in an office here from another city. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're right. Her name's Akane Saito, and she's been saying a lot of things to me. What? Stuff like, why don't you have both your legs, May? And do you have a congenital disease or something? She's been saying those things to you? Seriously? She has this nasty smile on her face every time she talks to me, and it's too rare for her not to be laughing, pointing at me. I explained in the same way that you and I and Dad always do. I told her that I got into an accident when I was younger, and that the doctors had no choice but to cut off both my legs because of it. And how does she react to that? She just said, huh, without showing much interest, to tell you the truth. That must have been hard. But that's only happened with her. Everyone else in my class and school is nice. They protected me when Arcane was saying all those things to me, so I'm not really paying attention to what happened. But I guess I was really surprised when she started making fun of me out of the blue like that, and I felt I should tell you about it.
You did the right thing telling me, honey. Thank you. If she says anything nasty to you again, let me or your dad know right away, okay?
I'll do that, I promise.
And I might come home late today. I had a meeting with one of our subcontractors, and it's about something pretty important.
Don't worry about dinner, Mom. I'll take care of it all, and I'll make sure there's enough for Dad too.
What did we do to deserve you, darling?
Well, guess I'll make you my world-famous May-exclusive spaghetti bolognese. You're in for a treat.
Looks like you take after your father in things other than sports too.
I'll make some spaghetti so good that it'll instantly drain you and Dad of all that fatigue from work. You better look forward to it coming home.
Oh, I am, darling. I am.
Have a nice day at work, Mom!
Even without her legs, living in a wheelchair hasn't made May any less of a wonderful, happy daughter. There's a chance that she could be working hard in ways neither Kai nor I can perceive at the moment. I certainly hope she isn't, to be frank, but even if she does, she tells me she's happy, and that's more than enough for me to be happy too. Arcane Saito. I think it would be better to keep that name in mind in case something terrible happens at school. I should tell Kai about what happened when I get home. God, please don't let anything happen to May. Keep her happy as she always has been, please. There's no way a sensible human being would resort to bullying in this scenario, right? But events would transpire that would really make me regret hoping that things would go smoothly from here on out.
Kyoko, this is an emergency!
Kai, it's not every day you call me at this time of day. What's going on? Aren't you at the sports camp in the prefecture next door?
Something terrible has happened to Mai at school.
What?
She was pushed into the swimming pool during gym class.
What?
You know how she's been attending gym class without participating because of her legs?
Yeah, the school told us that submitting reports was an acceptable substitute to participating in swimming classes because she would need artificial legs that were designed for swimming. The school was kind enough to not want us put through that kind of trouble.
Yeah.
The principal and the vice principal both understand her situation very well, and there's no way our homeroom teacher nor her gym teacher didn't know about her condition, is there?
It turns out that the person who pushed her in was a female classmate of hers.
Oh god.
It's not fair that you're the only one resting up here when everyone else is in the water getting exercise. The verbal abuse was apparently brutal.
Don't tell me. I have an idea who that female classmate is, but that student's been at May's new school for barely a month, hasn't she? Why in the world would she do such a thing? She legitimately could have killed May.
I think your guess is right, Kyoko.
It's completely psychopathic to push a wheelchair person into a swimming pool.
I'm fairly convinced that the brat who pushed her in is none other than Akane Saito, the same girl who made fun of her sometime last month.
Wait, where's May? Where is she? Is she alright, honey?
She was taken to the hospital in an ambulance.
Oh my god. Is she injured? Does she have anything at all?
Just calm down and head for the hospital.
I'm gonna tell my boss what happened, take an early leave, and hightail her over there right now.
I'll also leave my work for later. This is far more serious.
I literally felt the blood rush away from my face, down my pounding heart. The sheer rush of concern and fear made me feel very dizzy for some time, and it was pretty hard to find my boss and explain what happened. Calm down, girl. You have to calm down, Kyoko Minahara. You have to be strong for our daughter. Clear your mind and focus on the task at hand.
Where am I?
May!
Oh, hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Oh, thank God you're okay, darling.
That phone call from the school made things seem like you didn't make it, dear.
I'm nowhere near that kind of danger, Dad. Look at me. I'm still awake and alive as much as I ever was.
That's not what I meant.
My memory after I got pushed into the swimming pool is a bit fuzzy. I was trying my best to stay afloat, and I didn't have the calm of mind to think of anything else.
In any case, you won't believe how relieved I am to know you don't have any injuries.
I'm sorry. You two were busy with your jobs, and you sacrificed that for me.
I forbid you from worrying about our jobs, May, darling.
Your life is one of the most important things on the planet to us, you know?
Thank you. So much.
You can take some time, dear, but could you tell me what happened at school?
So this is what happened.
After waking, May started to slowly tell us what had happened. What we learned was something more even unbelievable than what Kai had learned when the vice principal called him about the incident. Hey, Minohara. So when are you going to step into the pool?
I just can't get into the water.
Why not?
These artificial legs weren't designed for swimming, and being in the water with them can make things very difficult.
In my book, you just discriminated against healthy people, Missy.
What are you talking about? You're thinking, yay, I'm a disabled person, right? So everyone has to treat me special and other bullshit like that. No, it's not. Listen here. How about you start thinking about other people around you, Just because you're in a stupid wheelchair and you have legs made of rubber and plastic doesn't mean that everyone has to treat you with special kindness and care. Perish the thought, please. Before I moved here, there was somebody in my old school who was like Yumina Hara, a lazy, spoiled brat of a female student she was. But you're only watching today, Miss Akane. I just can't go in the water because my period just happened to come. But even I want to go in the water and swim to my heart's content, you know? If you're playing stupid wheelchair basketball, ain't swimming an easy task for you, stupid? But that's... Well, looky here, you finally shut the hell up when your pea brain can't think of anything to say to that. I always hated your bitch ass, ever since we started going to the school. And I thought we could be friends. That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. I'm not gonna be friends with a frickin' cripple. Give me $1 billion, yet I'm still not gonna do it. And your classmates, I really can't understand how they're gonna keep their feelings about you to themselves. Don't you dare start talking smack about my friends. I won't have any of that. Oh, so many oohs has gone the little angry poos. If anyone's weird around here, it's you, Miss Akane. Huh? Just yesterday, our math teacher, Mr. Takahashi, merely warned you about using our phone in class, and you put up such an unnecessary fuss about a small thing. Shut the frick up, bitch. It's his fault he makes a bad first impression on, because he makes us do stupid homework every single day, and his warning was far from harsh. On the contrary, it had a kind, calm tone to it. I'm that kind of a prodigy that doesn't even need to take notes or do exercises and workbooks, alright? Even if I don't really pay attention in class, high school exams will be a walk in the park with a piece of cake and a slice of pie. But even if you scored well in the entrance exam, you have school grades that aren't exactly the best. Little Miss Miyonohara, you're getting really cocky here, aren't you? I'm not cocky in the slightest, Miss Akane. I'm just worried about you and how you value your future. You're just a damn cripple unworthy of a life, selfish slime bag. Let go of me! Being a frickin' insane now, are we? My god, you just get more and more disgusting with each passing second. Shut the frick up! What are you doing to me? Those little artificial legs of yours, they must have cost a lot now, haven't they? I don't know how much they cost exactly. Oh, I know. How about you prove to me that you don't need special legs to swim around effortlessly in water, What? They're only the same kind of leg in reality, aren't they? Now, go on and jump in the water already. I can't! I'll drown! Good riddance then. Move the frick over, maggot. Ah! Teacher! Please! Help! You're so funny. The doctors told me that the gym teacher immediately noticed I was thrashing in the water, saved me, and sent for an ambulance. This is unbelievable. Akane seemed respectable and nice the first time I met her, but for whatever reason, it seems like something inside her just changed, and she took it all out on me. In other words, she revealed her true colors. She would look down upon students who would be reading during recess. She'd make fun of people who got lower scores on their exams than her. Over time, no one really took to liking her.
Could it be that it was for that behavior that she changed schools in the first place?
What's the reason exactly?
Which is the fact that she may have screwed things up so much at her old school that the school directly asked her parents to get her out.
That's true. It's not an impossibility, at least.
Looks like we have to look into this Akane Saito for some time to see what's been going on in her past.
I'm sorry. All because of me. You guys are taking so much trouble. You did nothing wrong, darling.
We also have those function checks to do with your artificial legs, so for now, you don't have to worry about school.
Once you leave the hospital, let's go someplace and eat something delicious. You'll need all the strength you can get if you want to keep at it with your basketball dream. Yeah. Our patience, Kai's mind, was completely gone. That girl had the audacity to shove our daughter, the most precious thing in the world to us, into a swimming pool filled with deep water. And the reason for such an atrocity? Because she simply didn't have legs. I don't care if she's half my age. She's going to pay for her crime. That day onward, I did my research on Akane Saito. It turns out that one of her relatives is a world-famous actor, and her father owns a large business. This combined meant she was living an extremely luxurious life. Her father's influence is very substantial, and even sometimes within the government, he's donated thousands and thousands of dollars to national diet. As I dug deeper, I uncovered some truths about how Akane conjured up trouble long before she ever moved to the city. In the past, she was apparently targeted by a fellow classmate whose father was an American and thus had blonde hair herself, and got every single one of her classmates to bully her in school refusal, meaning that she didn't dare step into her school for more than 10 days. So the victim's family sued her in court, and that's the main reason why her devious acts had become public.
What a spoiled brat.
I'm pretty certain that her family tried to settle the matter privately with lots of money to the victim's family.
How screwed up does one's parenting have to be in order to produce such a brainless monster?
My best guess is her family is far from normal.
I should think so. They deliberately tried to bury the matter under mountains and mountains of money.
With this going on, May won't be able to go to school feeling safe and at ease. We have to find some way to get to Akane and stop her bullshit and leave others alone.
I don't care who our opponent is.
The next week, May was able to leave hospital without any further problems. And while she was in hospital, her friends stopped by in her room to visit and they provided her company. She seemed to be so happy to see them and talk to them. I want to hurry up and play wheelchair basketball, is what she'd say pretty often. But I reminded her that there was a lot to be taken care of first, her mental health above all else. And then, it's crystal clear that Akane Saito was the culprit pushing our daughter into Mr. Nakaya. He has testimonies from witnesses that were classmates present during the class. The artificial leg she was wearing at the time has suffered irregular stress upon impact with the swimming pool, and both of them required mechanical repair.
Is that so, madam?
Furthermore, we demand full reimbursement from hospital costs, as well as compensation for what Saito did, and for the repair fees for her artificial legs.
If I may, Mrs. Miyanohara, our high school is one that is held in high regard.
Proceed, sir.
We've been trying our best to maintain this record, you see.
We understand, Mr. Nakia.
Should this particular incident be leaked to the public, mainstream media and newspaper reporters would flood our schedule with their dastardly bickering, you understand?
So, in other words, you'd like us to run home with our tails between our legs and cry ourselves to sleep tonight. Is that it, sir? My husband and I have taken the trouble to arrange a day of absence just from work so we could come here to negotiate our terms. Thanks to Saito's heinous deeds of physical and verbal abuse, our beloved daughter has suffered mental shock and spouts of depression.
All the more reason, ma'am, to settle this matter quietly. What the hell do you think you're saying? Do you really have the audacity to call yourself a teacher with that mentality, sir? Well, you see, Miss Saito herself claims that the whole incident was an honest accident.
A few classmates of mine were walking alongside the swimming pool and they... Are you really repenting your heinous actions, young lady? Then they called me to steady myself on Miss May, and in the action I pushed her in. Alright. How about you knock it off with the acting, Saito? I know who you are, and I know what you did in the past, lady. Crying and being all apologetic isn't going to make up for what you did to our beloved daughter. Ah, shit. Guess you saw right through me, huh? I suppose I was wrong about you folks. You are all these all-too-nice idiots.
You?
Careful, lose your temper right here, right now, and you might just lose that precious job of yours.
What do you mean?
My daddy's a very rich businessman who personally supports a handful of politicians of the Japanese national government. And I also happen to have a relative who's been the lead character in a few Hollywood movies too, you know.
So you're gonna try and bury this mess under loads of money, just as I predicted.
Everyone forgets their problems and goes home happy if I present them a stack of money. Why did you assault May? Because she's disgusting to look at. Those artificial legs she has make me want to puke, not gonna lie.
What a load of bullshit!
You really have no idea how bad the consequences of your crime could amount to, do you? But this school is designed for healthy, normal people. Should be put in special needs schools.
Being a minor won't help you at all when we accuse you of deliberate defamation.
Do I look like I care?
God damn it!
It pains me to think of them like this, since they're still 15, but who cares at this point? She deserves to be in prison. So maybe you could just do us a favor and get the hell out of here? Excuse me? Should you refuse, I could always wipe out the entire wheelchair basketball team, you know? Young lady, are you seriously the same age as my daughter? Threats and blackmail without even batting an eyelash at the ripe old age of 15. Youngest psychopath in history confirmed. How about you take more measures to make more money than my daddy?
You brat!
Kai, honey, you mustn't let your emotions get the better of you.
You're just gonna let her speak the unspeakable all day long, are you?
No, I'm not. Just leave this to me, honey. Don't worry. Mr. Nakayaka, I suppose you don't want your school to become the target of news channels and newspapers, do you now?
Yes?
You hear that? Inside, I felt exactly the same way as my husband, but if we let the emotions get the better of us, we'll be framed as perpetrators, and the entire situation could turn against us. Our opponent would essentially be our daughter in terms of age, a 15-year-old schoolgirl in middle school. I'd hoped that she'd show remorse for her crimes and sincerely apologise for what she did to me, but I let my optimism induce some wishful thinking yet again, because Akane would only pile on her crimes with insults to us and her daughter, as well as threats of taking our jobs away from us. Not to mention the blackmail. Her humanity was so pathetic a rotting log filled with lava could beat her in a game of Count the Times I Was Nice. The sheer brainlessness of hers made us feel dizzy. What are you gonna frickin' do, eh? Sue me? Just like that foreigner maggot from my old school did with her family? We're gonna bring this whole information to court, but what do you think will happen if we leak our information to the gossip lovers? What the frick is that? Speak English, damn it. 2 words, my dear. Weekly magazines.
Mrs. Miyanohara, please! I must beg of you not to inform mass media.
That we will never take your begging into consideration whatsoever. But thankfully, Mae's gym teacher was brave enough to come to her aid. But in the event that nothing worse happened and she never made it out of the situation alive, how do you think you could accept full responsibility?
That would be a tragic accident.
How dare you call yourself a student's teacher with all that corruption and that brainless head of yours?
All I want is for this mess to pass under the radar undetected, ma'am.
That, sir, is a line exclusively reserved for victims of a battle against the perpetrators.
Hyoko, are you really gonna go to the mass media?
I mean, obviously. And also, we mustn't forget who the chief editor for the weekly Monirobo is.
Oh damn! I completely forgot about that!
The frick do you mean, genius? Explain to me what you 2 pieces of guano are talking about. The Weekly Monirobo is by far the most popular magazine that falls under the category of gossip news, you see, my dear, and the founder of that company, bless his soul, is none other than my own grandfather. Not a single politician or successful business president doesn't recognize the name. Manjiro Kisaragi, 90 years old, a bright, sprightly man who never once got sick with a case of the sniffles. No way. Tell me you're kidding. 10 years ago, he resigned as chief editor, a position he'd been holding for 40 long, glorious years, and gave it to his son, my mother's brother, my uncle. As of now, he's living a life of leisure and relaxation with my darling grandmother. Even I've heard of him through Daddy. He told me that the magazine is the most influential gossip news magazine to ever exist, not to mention the fact that the content of the magazine's articles are darn near 100% the truth. No, not the 1981 catastrophe. Precisely. So needless to say, should we leak this information about you to this magazine, which is run by my uncle? Your father's in a very dangerous position. Please do not do that. Please! I'm gonna become poor if you do that, lady. Time already defeated you. Me and my big mouth told my uncle everything before we came here, you see. What? Miss Akane, it seems that your daddy is the president of Align Commercial Affairs, is he not? That international conglomerate that has subcontractors abroad even? And by the way, I've taken the liberty of recording this enlightening conversation from start to finish. What? Oopsies, how did this voice recorder get in my pocket, I wonder? That's a violation of privacy. And yet you think you can threaten people with unemployment and blackmail? Pathetic. You had the audacity to put all our lives in jeopardy. Maybe that half-American girl felt the same way now, didn't she? You frickin' bitch. This one's supposed to... I'll leave the rest to the police and the reporters now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Damn, you could have picked a better time to apologize, I won't ever do this again, I promise. I'll be good to Miss May, and I'll be her friend. You have my word. Please, please forgive me. I don't think you heard me. I already told the Weekly Monirobo everything there is to know about the situation. No! No! As for you, Mr. Nakia, we expect you to give a full report about what happened in this room to the principal of the school.
Yes, ma'am.
Well then, Kai honey, let's go home. Weren't we going to go out to lunch with our lovely maid?
Oh, did you get that almighty ability to take action from your grandfather's DNA or something?
Maybe I did. After we filed the damage report on May's behalf, the case of bullying done by one Miss Akane Saito became known as the dark side of the president's daughter. The article was a big success, and mainstream media soon caught on, and the story was covered quite extensively for some time. You may think we went overboard on this one, but soon thereafter, the truth of her father pulling some strings with the government became apparent. And after the media covered that as well, all hell broke loose. It seemed like he was involved with a conspiracy, where he partnered with the member of the National Diet and embezzled money equivalent to a year's salary of a government secretary. Needless to say, it's amounted quite a bit, and he's been doing it for more than 10 years. In the end, he was arrested, and his company teetering over the precipice of bankruptcy. The politician who collaborated him was forced to retire, and the actor who was his relative received some criticism as well, leading to the drop in popularity. Mr. Nakaya, who attempted to protect Takane from the consequences, quit his own job in an attempt to save himself. The principal and the vice principal have been duly informed of the whole event, accepted full responsibility and promptly apologised. Once summer vacation was over, a new teacher had been hired to pick up what Mr. Nakaya left off, and school officially resumed as wonderful as ever. As for Akane, I heard she's officially been diagnosed with a mental condition and is forced to live in an asylum that didn't let patients enter back into society so easily. We've received a bunch of compensation from her family already.
Go, 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 Mai! Yeah, we won!
Kai, honey, you're louder than a child.
I wasn't able to go and cheer her last game, though.
I just know May felt your enthusiasm, dear. Mom, Dad, we won! I told you so.
After this game, she isn't going to be playing basketball for a while, huh? But that won't stop us from helping her out and studying for those high school exams.
I agree with everything, honey.
How about that barbecue for dinner again as a celebration?
Hell yeah! May's mental health has improved quite nicely, and she finally started going back to school. It's like she became a famous person in the team nowadays, and the number of friends she has increased too. For my daughter, she has her whole life ahead of her. I really hope she puts that spirit and like of challenges to good use, tries many new things, and goes on to live a life full of happiness and love, and I promise to support her through and through.